Welcome back to For the Record. WisconsinEye, our state's version of C-SPAN, a TV network that offers live, unfiltered access to the government, is at risk. The network is in urgent need of $1 million to continue its mission of government transparency over the next year. We sat down with the president, who says the organization is facing a real possibility of reducing staff, scaling back, or eliminating state capitol coverage, and even potentially permanently shutting down.
We've been doing this now since May of 2007. Consistently, we've seen a lot. We've seen politicians come and go. But the bottom line to all of this is our mission, which is to provide transparency and citizen access to what happens in the state capitol. You know, every biennium, tens of billions of dollars is spent in taxpayer money that affects everybody throughout the state of Wisconsin. And so we believe that that access to that, as it happens, as it unfolds, is really important.
And right now you guys are facing some funding challenges. Talk to us a little bit about what that looks like.
You bet. There is a high competition right now for the philanthropic dollar. WisconsinEye needs to raise $1 million to meet our annual operating budget. And you would think that'd be pretty easy. There's a lot of wealth in the state of Wisconsin, but really it's highly competitive right now. And we're working our hardest to meet budget. On top of that, there's $10 million sitting in a state account with our name on it in a dollar-for-dollar match to create a permanent endowment. That will be the glorious day when WisconsinEye has a $20 million endowment in place, and we won't have to worry about month to month as those dollars earn interest.
What would it look like if WisconsinEye wasn't at the Capitol? Well,
the biggest thing would be transparency goes away, because there's truth in what happens gavel to gavel. News reporters rely on WisconsinEye to tell the story of what happens in the Capitol. And what we've seen over the years is that as resources in newsrooms across the state have been diminished and technology has changed, that state Capitol press room used to be a beehive of activity, and now there's just a handful of reporters. The other reporters who write about what happens in the state Capitol can do it remotely because they're watching WisconsinEye Live. So to answer your question more directly, the biggest losers are those who care most about the inputs and outcomes of state government. So I would put on that list the commercial news media, advocacy organizations around the state, and the people of Wisconsin, because you will not have the opportunity to see as many public hearings as they occur. You would not essentially hear the voice of the people. And so if WisconsinEye goes away, that access goes away. And let's quantify that for a sec. So in the last 2.5 years, WisconsinEye has had 320,000 unique visitors to our website. We have delivered more than 2.5 million website views. We have 40,000 members in our social media communities. So we know there's a high interest in WisconsinEye, and those viewers would not have this resource because there's nothing else like it in the state.
And where does your fundraising stand right now? How are you guys doing?
We're just fighting against a really tough environment. We are good through into and through the first quarter of next year on meeting our monthly. And then beyond that, time will tell. We think that we're part of that march toward a stronger, better democracy for everyone. And we're just hoping that people can connect with our message and be supportive.
Thank you for taking the time to come on and chat with us today.
My pleasure. Yeah.
The link to support the network is WisEye.org/donate. The city of Madison's finances have greatly improved after a successful $22 million referendum last year. That's according to a new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum. The report also warns residents to not get comfortable as growth in city spending is still outpacing its revenues, setting up for future budget challenges. However, the city has shared a 6-year plan to combat the imbalance that would, in theory, balance the books. In the mayor's proposed budget, Metro Transit would see the largest increase of any city department. The Madison School Board approved the district's 2025-26 budget of nearly $700 million and voted to raise the total tax levy to nearly $500 million. That means the owner of an average Madison home will see an increase of about $684 on their property tax bill. But that number is lower when you factor in the state's school levy tax credit, and more than $300 lower than projected.
We're quite a bit under our projected property tax impacts. And so I would say it's as we expected. The actual tax impact this year is projected to be less than what we had talked about when we were talking to the community, in spring and summer of 2024.
The projected levy impact in 2024 was nearly $1,000 for an average home. The budget will go towards K-5 reading materials, expanding mental health supports, and supporting students of color. For the record, we'll be back right after this.